active, a more inventive environment. Many young people are increasingly engaged in creative work and collaboration with these powerful tools that can turn each citizen into a creator of media content, websites, blogs, online TV channels. You are digital natives, the first generation to grow up with all these new tools. And you are certainly better equipped than older people to invent a future for Europe based on them. Our new media overcome the national frontiers that often limit the scope of traditional media. New media, and especially the social networks, are better at bringing content across borders and enable users to move from the national to the international, while keeping the local and the global in equally sharp focus. There is another factor that merits our attention. It is the unique opportunity that citizens are being given by the new media to become actively engaged in society and in politics. With citizens' political participation reaching an all-time low across Europe, new media are a powerful instrument to overcome those feelings of apathy and lack of interest, because they facilitate expression and communication. They distribute information widely. President Obama's inspired use of Facebook, Twitter, and other new media during his campaign raises the game in terms of what can be achieved, well beyond the simplistic use of email to spam citizens' mailboxes. I hope that this conference will be an inspiring brainstorming, producing new ideas for making engagement with European issues to be more attractive to citizens and especially to young Europeans. As Information Society and Media Commissioner with a journalistic background, freedom of expression is a personal and political priority for me. In Europe, we have a tendency to take it for granted, but it needs TLC, tender, loving care. Freedom of expression needs media pluralism. There are concerns here among policymakers because of the structural changes affecting the media and the written press. In January last year, I set up a team of about 50 people to develop indicators to measure media pluralism across a very broad front, covering more than just ownership. These media pluralism indicators include the presence or not of new media, the diversity, the presence of journalists with different social and cultural background, as well as the coverage of European issues. I invite you to take a look at the preliminary results that are already online. In the last few years, the so-called Web 2 has given birth to a large number of different online platforms with all kinds of content and confirming the primacy of the internet. People who use content are increasingly participating in its production, and this naturally seems to be changing old media consumption patterns also. The European Commission is closely following this phenomenon. A recent study observed that this is not just a temporary fashion, but a long-term phenomenon led by digital natives like you are. User participation in the web as a media is still in its infancy, but there is already a very rich diversity of content and of platforms with social and cultural impacts on creativity, on innovation. The European Commission is committed to supporting the growth of a participative web as a medium enabling self-expression of young, but not only young people, creativity and pluralism. I am very enthusiastic about your conference, as getting young people engaged in media production, enabling them to create their own media and cover European issues is essential for media pluralism. This does not mean that we should neglect the risks associated with new media and the use of internet. There are legitimate concerns about young people's disregard for the use of their own personal data on the web in connection with social networking sites. The European Commission is addressing these risks. The first European agreement on social networking was brokered by the Commission and signed by 17 of the most popular social network sites